Hi, I'm Youngwook from Georgia Tech. Today I'm going to talk about Spidey Sense, designing a novel haptics to improve awareness of cybersecurity warnings. This work was done along with my brilliant collaborators Linh, Hoang, Jung, and my advisors Gregory, Abowd, and Sauvik. The importance of security warnings has increased significantly as the internet technology have advanced. The internet technology have allowed users to be connected on the internet and to work on their daily tasks anytime and anywhere with their laptops or smart devices. But also at the same time, this internet technology lets a malicious actor from outside be available to access other people's data without their knowledge by hacking the system through phishing, sniffing data, etc. Of course, such a malicious act can be prevented by building a strong security system. However, some decisions must eventually be made by users. Which means if a user makes even one bad security decision, it might lead to putting their system and data at risk. For such cases, security warnings have been designed to help users to avoid taking risky actions. There are cases where the risk of harm is considered severe and requires immediate users' actions to attenuate harm. For such cases, we consider cybersecurity warnings to be critical and in the moment. However, they often fail to capture people's attentions and motivate their actions. Why does it happen? First, the channels used to communicate cybersecurity warnings are overloaded. For example, on a web browser, since a lot of different information got delivered visually, people may disregard an important security warning. Second, unlike threats in the physical world, cyber threats are communicated rationally, but not viscerally. People might be able to see that they are navigating to a website with an expired SSL certificate the way they might see a red light on a pedestrian crossing. But they may not feel that they shouldn't proceed to the website when they see the warning, the way they would if a friend grabbed their wrist before they attempted to jaywalk. What if we could differentiate urgent cybersecurity warnings from other notifications through a dedicated channel? What if we could communicate threats in a way users can viscerally feel the presence of a potential threat like Spidey Sense in the Spider-Man movie? Is it possible? How can you design such a security warning system? So now we introduce Spidey Sense, a deployable wrist-worn device that produces a novel squeezing haptic effect. In terms of the lexicon described in the design space for effective privacy notices paper, Spidey Sense is a just-in-time, haptic, non-blocking notification delivered through a secondary channel like a smartwatch. For the Spidey Sense design, we found that squeezing haptics on a wrist shows a good opportunity. Why? What is needed for our target design is a mechanism of delivering cybersecurity warnings that helps bridge the gap between the presence of cybersecurity threat and the physical perception of the threat, while differentiating the communication channel. We found that haptics can help bridge the gap. The sense of physical touch is one of the most emotionally charged channels. Researchers have studied this domain to examine how effectively different haptics can elicit, enhance, or influence the emotional state of a human by means of sense of touch. While we're exploring different haptics modalities, we learned prior work identified that people protectively grasp another person's wrist when they feel scared or surprised. We drew the inspiration of a squeezing haptics from this idea. Our key insight is that by developing a simple switchable smartwatch wristband that can produce a noticeable haptic effect, we should be able to improve perception of cybersecurity warnings in both practical and deployable manners. As shown here, we found that the mechanical and electrical component used to produce a squeezing sensation can be easily fit into a smartwatch wristband, and it can be easily switchable. Spidey Sense can produce a vast design space of squeezes. But how do we know what types of squeezes are most suitable for communicating cybersecurity warnings? Our goal in the study is to systematically explore the squeeze notification design space and find one that is well suited to our target scenarios. To do so, we ran a Gen Rank Verify study that we adopted and modified Find Fix Verify study structure. Before participants are asked to complete a task, we prime participants to get in the mindset of our target scenarios using grounding videos. Since we ran the study in the lab settings and participants were not situated in real scenarios, it was important to clearly describe what are the Spidey Sense's target scenarios. We chose 2 videos because we want to give multiple examples so that the idea is not limited to just one scenario. For the laptop use case, we show a 5-minute clip of the Black Mirror episode Shut Up and Dance, which depicts the consequences of installing untrusted software on the main character's laptop. For the smartphone use case, we found a news report from the CBC illustrating the ramification of unclear permission granting for Android apps. The intention of the news report was to alert the general public of the importance of being vigilant about the permission grant to smartphone apps. We found these videos helpful for viewers to engage in scenes that approximate real-life scenarios. After watching the grounding videos, participants were asked to design a squeeze notification that would best capture their attention if they were in a situation analogous to the ones depicted in our grounding videos. So in the Gen study phase, to design the squeeze patterns, participants used the GUI design tool that we created and played with 3 parameters: pressure over time, periodic behavior, and repetition. They were asked to explore and try different patterns for 10 minutes and finalize design. At the end, we were able to gain 8 different patterns that 8 participants created individually. With 8 squeeze patterns, we needed to assess which of these would be best suited to the task of alerting people to our target scenario. In the rank stage, we recruited participants to independently rank the 8 different squeeze notifications that they believed would capture their attention if they found themselves in a scenario depicted in the grounding videos. We arranged the 8 squeeze notifications in random order and had participants make 7 pairwise comparisons in a tournament setup. The reason that we adopted the pairwise comparison is that it is easier to compare 2 haptic notifications at once than comparing 8 at the same time. Also, another reason is that it is challenging to have each participant do every possible pairwise comparison. For the pairwise comparison in a tournament setup, participants used the GUI tool that we created. As a result, pattern 1 created by the participant 1 in the Gen study phase obtained the most pairwise victories. The winning pattern number 1 is an infinitely repeating pattern that has 4 large pressure peaks followed by rapid decreases in pressure and a more irregular, smaller pressure peak at the end. While the tournament setup helped us find the best squeezing pattern among the 8 patterns, we next wanted to evaluate if this relative best pattern was actually appropriate for our target scenarios on an absolute scale. Participants were asked to rate the appropriateness of each haptic feedback on the 5-point Likert scale. The results show that participants found Spidey Sense to be significantly more appropriate for in-the-moment critical cybersecurity warnings than the vibrotactile feedback, which is our baseline. While we have yet to run studies to examine the system usability and effectiveness in the wild, Spidey Sense is an instantiation of a broader class of affective haptics that motivates end users' responses to security warnings. We believe that Spidey Sense can help catalyze a new direction of cybersecurity research across various applications, including smart like alert, misinformation alert, and etc. In summary, we implemented and evaluate a novel haptic notification system, Spidey Sense, designed to improve people's awareness of in-the-moment critical cybersecurity warnings. That's all for my talk. Thank you so much.